Happy Wednesday to you, to you, to you. Oh, it sounds like I got a little vocals on that thing. Listen, what's up, world? Y'all already know. Happy Wednesday. You already know. It's your girl, Miss Nene Gemini, the host with the most and a smile you can't forget. And today is Wednesday, and we are still celebrating autism awareness. And if you guys don't know who I am Miss Nene Gemini, the host with the most and a smile you can't forget. Hello, promise. I am an event host. I am a special event host, a media personality, project manager, day of coordinator. I am a ball of fun all in one. So, and I am the owner and host and producer of Nene's Damn Podcast, where we talk to people doing impactful things in the neighborhood all the way around. And so today we have such a great guest. We got Miss Briana. She's a speech therapist, creator of the Dramatic SLP, a circus performer, and a mom of autistic twins. Plus, she and her wife are both autistic individuals themselves. She's merging speech therapy with dramatic arts to help people express themselves in a powerful way. So we're going to bring her in shortly. But welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Happy Wednesday. Blessed Wednesday. I'm glad to see everybody here. Thank you all for tuning in. So I'm about to Miss Briana, you ready? Let me know if you ready. Oh, I see you. Okay. So I'm about to let her in. So welcome once again. And today's theme is voices that deserve to be heard, autism, expression, and the power of speech therapy. Emma, that's my work wife. So we're gonna welcome in Miss Briana. So y'all just chill. But welcome again to Nene's Damn Podcast, and I am your host, the producer, the event specialist, the host with the most and the smile you can't forget, Miss Nene Gemini. You already know. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey there, how are you?
I'm well. How you doing?
Good, good. Nice to see you.
Likewise. And listen, I got to give a shout out to Emma Riley. She was like, "How do you know her?" I was like, "She just emailed me." She was like, "That's my friend." I love Emma. So shout out to
Yeah,
Emma. Emma is my girl. She supports me in everything. So shout out to Emma.
I love Emma too. We've been friends since middle school, so it's been a really long time.
So that this is a real friendship. Like this is a
Yes,
legit. Yeah, Emma is a great person. We used to work together at the radio station, and she trained me and everything. And now that's my work wife forever.
love it. I love it so much. She's amazing. Shout out to you, Emma.
I know. So Miss Brianna, go ahead and tell the people who you are and what you do.
Definitely. So I am Brianna. I am the creator and the founder of the Dramatic SLP, where we combine the dramatic arts and speech therapy. I am also a professional performer on the side, and I love to combine both of my passions into one.
I love that. I love that. I love that. So what led you to create the dramatic SLP?
Yeah, well, you know what? I really realized that I didn't fit in either the speech therapy world wholeheartedly or the dramatic arts world wholeheartedly. I was passionately pursuing both fields at the same time, and it really led me to question just a lot of what I was seeing and a lot of what was happening. I previously worked at Walt Disney World, and when I was entertaining with them, I would be backstage and I'd be studying for my
Right.
speech therapy test. And I have a lot of people kind of ask me, like, what are you doing? What's going on? And I would explain, oh, I'm doing speech therapy. And they would say it was really cool. And then on the flip side, I'd be in the speech therapy classroom setting and I'd be missing some classes because I was working at Disney and getting a free pass.
Right.
And they thought it was really cool too. And I really just kind of thought about what it would be like to combine both worlds because I was actively doing that already. And I thought about how impactful and important it would be as
Right.
well. So that's how I really started it. And then when I had the idea, my wife, Katrina, who at the time was just my friend, she was asking me, how I got into these social settings and how I integrated so well for someone who was neurodivergent and what success I had. And when I thought back about it, it was really about my experience with the performing arts that led me to have confidence, be able to get out and talk about these things and perform. And that's
Hmm.
what really led me to grow the idea of the dramatic SLP as a whole as well.
Nice, nice. I love that. That is so dope. And so is
Yeah.
purple your favorite color?
Purple is my favorite color.
Okay, I figured. I
Yeah.
figured. I was like, maybe because I know when
Maybe.
people are doing branding, like we try to do it based on like our favorite color.
Yes, yes,
And so
definitely.
I don't know if you noticed, but I think yellow might be my favorite color. I
Yes, I see it. I see it.
Okay, so you and your wife are both autistic and raising autistic twins. How has life experience shaped your approach to speech therapy?
Yeah, so I really love this question. So, raising autistic twins has been a whirlwind. I have gotten to see the struggles and the challenges of being autistic mom, the fears you have for your kids, how are they
Right.
going to turn out, what's life
Hmm.
going to be like for them. But I think something that I love so much is getting to see the joy as well, of getting to see them be themselves in certain places where neurotypical individuals might not be as expressive. My kids
Right.
are. So I get to see the joys. I get to see, the happy flaps of going to the beach and the happy flaps of bubbles. And so getting to raise them has taught me to accept my own, uniqueness and likeness of being an autistic individual. And so it really shaped me there. And I bring that into my therapy sessions as well because we want therapy to be joyful and fun and expressive. And so
Hmm.
getting to see that at home and to host that and really build that at home and then bring it into therapy, oh, it's so perfect.
I love that. I love that. So,
Yes.
how were you as a kid? Were you the type that liked to help people? Like, how did you get into to speech therapy? Because me, growing up, I used to watch. I got into media because I used to watch like Yo MTV Raps,
Mm-hmm.
Downtown Julie Brown, BT Teen Summit. So like that was like my inspiration, and I was just always dancing and always winning like the talent show. So I was like, okay, I got to do something in media and entertainment. It's in me.
Yes, yes. I feel like a lot of us performers, like that's it, right? So like we had it in us. And for me, that's exactly what happened as well. I love to sing, I love to perform. It's always part of my life, and I wanted to be a choir teacher. So I spoke with my choir director and I was like, "Hey, this was back in high school. I was like, I would really enjoy, getting to be a choir teacher." And she looked at me and she was like, "You're not going to make a whole lot of money doing that." She's like, "Maybe let's reassess. Let's figure out what we could do instead." And
Right.
she threw speech therapy at me, and I was like, okay. And then I started getting really into it and checking it out a little bit more. And I was like, you know what? This does sound like something I would really enjoy because I do love helping people so much. I have always been drawn to, the disabled community in general.
Right.
Even when I was younger, I loved getting to help, participate, be involved with. It brings me so much joy. And I was unaware that I was a disabled individual myself, so I didn't really understand, the sense of belonging that I also had in those communities. But then getting older as an adult and realizing, I am part of this community and I want to be able to help create places for everyone's voice to be heard. It
Hmm.
makes so much sense. So, yep, performing arts is really the gateway drug to like anything you want to do in life, I think.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. So
Yeah.
let's talk speech therapy and autism. So for listeners who may have not fully understand what is speech therapy and why is it so important within the autistic community?
Yeah, definitely. So, speech therapy, we can do so, so much. And for the autistic community, we are there to really help elevate, amplify, and help bridge the gaps between communication. I know that speech therapy, for some listeners, it can be really challenging to
Mm.
understand that. Speech therapy is there to help. We are not there to take control or lead or, put words in people's mouths, so to speak, but we can
Right.
definitely amplify autistic voices when we are able to listen, we're able to understand, and then we're able to go out, and help them speak the words that they wish to speak instead of just something that we think they should say.
Nice. I love that. Okay. So, what are some common misconceptions about communication and autism that you wish people would unlearn?
You know, I can't speak for the entire community as a whole. I definitely think each person's experience is unique. But from my perspective, I feel like people think that autistic communication is like autistic individuals always want to be verbal. And I don't think that's true. A lot of our communication can be nonverbal. We really appreciate doing things like parallel play, we'll call, where one person is participating in a certain activity and someone next to them is doing a same activity or something different.
Mm,
So we love those sort of safe places that we create. And a lot of the ways in which we communicate are nonverbal. So vocal tone, stimming behaviors that we like to do together. For example, my sons, they like to script together. So they like to take chunks of movies and they'll go back and forth with each other. And so that is a
really?
verbal component, yes, and sometimes they'll just do it with the vocal intonations, right? So it doesn't always have to be purely word or like a verbal level. And I think people could really understand that a little bit better and know that so that not so as to not force autistic individuals to be verbal, because sometimes they just don't want to be.
Right. Okay. I like that. So, how does communication go beyond just speaking, especially for neurodivergent individuals?
Yeah. So for me, when I was in grad school, I learned that 80% of communication is nonverbal and 20% of communication is verbal, which I found so interesting because I asked my professors, I was like, well, if 20% of communication is verbal, why are we only focusing on this 20%? Like we're missing this huge chunk.
Right.
Um, and my professors didn't really like that. And I think it's just because I really kind of tested their knowledge and I did really pose, a thought-giving question.
Mm-hmm.
And really, the truth of that is that for a lot of us neurodivergent individuals, we speak in a language that goes so far beyond verbal communication. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of us might be hyper vigilant, so we might be way more attentive to people's body language, vocal tones, micro expressions, facial expressions. And so we're doing so much more work than neurotypical individuals are doing, where they're just assessing, what's in front of them.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so, we assess a level of authenticity in people and we tend to read it out pretty quickly. So I think beyond the speaking level, there are so many specific components of nonverbal communication that autistics value way more than just your average neurotypical individual.
Nice. Okay. I like that. This
Yeah.
is I like I'm enjoying this because it's so informative because when you work with kids
Mhm.
and they get pulled out of class and you're like, "Oh, they're going to the speech therapist." You just thinking like, "Okay, they're just going to do puzzles and just on the there you don't know it's so in depth." So I
Mhm.
appreciate all of this and it's very
Yeah.
informative. So thank you. So let's
Yes.
get into dramatic arts approach. So you combine dramatic arts with speech therapy, which is so unique. How does performance, creativity, and even play with communication help with communication and confidence?
Yes. So performance and dramatic arts have so much research coming out now. And there's just even more, on the heels of what's happening today about the importance of building self-esteem, self-confidence, self-expression abilities. So there's an extreme correlation going on right now with the dramatic arts in general. And so putting that into therapy brings to life these abilities in these children that they already innately have. So it gives these children an ability to express themselves in a
Hmm.
way that they have never done before. And for many autistic individuals and performers as a whole, the stage is a place where we can express ourselves in nonverbal communication, whether that is through, puppeteering or dance, or it's through animation where you're just pretending and bringing to life a character. Those are all forms of nonverbal communication. And it allows an autistic individual or neurodivergent individual to be seen and communicate in the ways in which they want to communicate, not something that is, just the standard everyday verbal communication. So I think that is just so, so important. And for me and myself as well, when I was younger, I used to carry around a karaoke machine to my second grade classrooms all the time. And I would have my entire second grade class. I would direct them all in a play, and they would all participate, and they would all do fabulous at recess. And I brought that into my adult life because that's how autistic individuals play. A lot of them play through directing other people because that play is predictable, it's familiar, and that's
Right.
one way they express themselves. And fortunately for me, I had a lot of acceptance and my friends were very kind to me. So it produced a very positive experience for my own self-confidence. And I knew that I wanted to bring that into therapy for other individuals as well, because that's what it's all about, right? It's building that self-confidence in those friendships.
Oh man, that's so cool. So they knew you were coming every time second grade.
Yes. Yes.
There's Brianna with
Yes.
her machine.
All
What
the
we singing
time.
today?
Yeah, I got it taken away from me quite a few times in school. They were like, no more
Listen,
of that.
and I'm the type of teacher I enable it. I'm
Yes,
like, you
yes.
want to bring your karaoke? All right, we learning phonics today. Go ahead, hit it, Brianna. What song we doing? All right. A
Oh, I would
says
have loved
I.
it. Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm the teacher. I enable, like, if, and I tell my friends this, like, if you notice a skill or something that your child is doing repetitively,
Hmm.
they're interested in it. If they're
Yes.
potting, hitting on the pots, they're going to be a drummer. They like music. If they're interested in breaking stuff and putting it back together, they might be an engineer. So we have to enable and acknowledge that it's talent. We got to
Yes,
acknowledge it.
yes.
It's a talent. Like if they're banging and I have kids in my class all day.
Yeah.
So now, how I teach them, I'm like, okay, we're learning the 7 levels of classification. Give me a beat.
Yes, that's it. That's
And they
it.
learn it. They
Yes,
learn
they
it.
do. Yes,
They
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 do.
learn it. So I would have been your teacher. I'm like, go ahead, Brianna, baby, play your
Yeah.
karaoke machine. And they go, and
Oh
then
man.
other teachers were like, you gonna take it? No, I'm not,
No,
because
no.
this is how they learn. So
Yes,
if we gonna go outside and we gonna go grounding, damn it, we gonna do it.
yes, and do it well, and do it well. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yes. I'm that teacher. I'm the one. Yeah.
I love
Like
it.
the principals always they've been coming in my class all week. Miss Nina,
Yes.
they're too loud. They're learning the 7 levels of classification. And this is how they gonna learn. They gonna beat on the table. Somebody gonna
Yes.
come up with a song. We gonna make a beat. And guess what? They had a test yesterday and everybody was like, oh,
And they knew it.
they knew it. They was like, I remember the beat. I remember. So yeah, because people don't understand. You have to meet kids
Hmm.
where they are. And whatever
Yes.
their interest is, you have to meet them where they are. You have to take heed to what they like, their interests, because they'll appreciate it more.
Yes, exactly. And
They
that is
will
so, so
appreciate it
important.
more. So, okay,
Yes.
I love that. So let's go into neurodivergent in daily life. So, what does daily life look like for you as a neurodivergent adult professional and a parent?
Yeah, so, for me, it really comes down to taking care of myself. I've spent a lot of time in mental health therapy, learning about myself, learning about my needs, what I can do to help regulate myself. So, for me, that might be doing some circus aerial arts. That's really regulating for me. I like to do a lot of yoga. I like to journal a lot. So, I make sure that I'm very intentional with my time. As far as parenting goes, I'm very intentional with my time there as well. And I really model that for my kids because I want them to know that they need to take care of themselves and that they are
Right.
different, and that just means that they can take care of themselves in ways in which work for them. So I tend to model that a lot. And I'm also ADHD, so ADHD gives me all of the fun creativity sides. I get to create any kinds of art activities, so I like to give myself some time to do those as well because it's a fun outlet for me and it allows me to create whatever I want, just like the Dramatic SLP.
I love that. I love that. So how can families better support their loved ones who are autistic or neurodivergent?
I honestly say just roll with it is my phrase. So, learning to, like you were saying before, to, accepting them and leaning into what their interests are and learning to go and roll with the punches, even when it's embarrassing in public sometimes, or when people are really struggling with being out with their kids. You know, you got to a point where you just embrace the chaos and
Yeah.
you learn to just accept it for what it is and not care so much about what other people think, and just know that it's not so serious. I feel like a lot of parents are so serious about their kids at this age, and they're like, well, if he can't manage himself now, how will he ever as an adult? And it's like, well, the reality is that your child is whatever age your child is, and they're not an adult. And we can prep them and we can work with them and we can help them to get there, but we don't need to be there yet. And kids are
Yeah.
still kids, and kids still need to have fun at the end of the day.
Right.
So make it fun. I know there's a lot of people out there who do a lot of like therapies with their kids for hours and hours a day, and for some that might be good, and for others that might just lead to burnout. So I try to take a summer break in my own practice where I just don't treat over the summer, and I let my families take a break, because I want kids to have fun, and I want them to know that, you know, their life isn't supposed to be their job. It's not supposed to be their work. And we don't want to model that for our kids either.
Right. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. So let's talk mental health. What are some challenges neurodivergent individuals face that don't get talked about enough?
Yeah, I think a major one is burnout. Burnout for any age. I feel like a lot of people tend to think that burnout just happens to adults. Burnout happens to kids.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids, I am sure, you know, you as a teacher, you see it too, where it's just exhausting. School is a
Mm,
lot, therapy is a lot, and especially neurodivergent individuals who are taking in 10 times the stimuli a day and they're trying to filter that information, it can just be too much. I know for one of my children in specific, like we pulled him out of school to homeschool him because at the end of the day, he was having severe meltdowns just from masking all day. And that's
mm,
another one, you know, are those masking pieces of trying to fit into neurotypical individuals' culture and life, and trying to find that sense of belonging, especially when they are younger, and sense of belonging is such a big piece for them.
right.
They're masking and then they're burning out and then they're tired, and we need so much more support and education there, because if we are tired and we're burnt out, you know, we're not going to do great in therapy, we're not going to do great in school, um,
Right.
because we're drained, and we don't want that for our kids either.
Yeah, we don't. And
Yeah.
like I told you, I'm really the fun teacher.
Yes.
I'm like, how y'all feeling today?
Yes.
I always say, so, well, how's your mental? And
Yes.
they're like, I don't know, I'm struggling. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, bet we going outside because I'm
Yes.
overstimulated. We not gonna do this today. You overstimulated. I'm overstimulated. We stressed out. I'm stressed out. We not doing the work today. We gonna go outside.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I tell them, I'm like, y'all, please don't like me. I don't want y'all to like me. They're like,
Yes.
Miss Nene, we love you. No,
No.
no. Don't get attached to me, please.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
like, and the older I'm getting, I'm realizing, and I'm gonna go get evaluated because I feel like I have, I feel like I have ADHD because my focus,
Mhm.
I'm like squirrel.
Right, right.
And like you said when you said earlier about creative side. So I notice like when I am overstimulated, I'm probably some neurodivergent as well. But I like to when I'm overstimulated, I have to be alone, and because I host as
Yes.
well. So I'm
Yes.
a MC, I'm a host, and I'm always around people, and
Hmm.
I just have to recharge. And sometimes like I'll just have to do like a crossword puzzle or, honey, I love Canva. I just think I'm a graphic designer on Canva. You
Yeah.
can't tell me nothing.
Right,
Somebody be like, I need a
right.
flyer, bet.
Yeah.
And I'm in my zone.
Yes.
Bree, I am in
100%.
my zone. Like you,
Hmm.
cause I'm like, and I asked ChatGPT to roast me, and it was like, "Oh, you have all these tabs open. You think you're a graphic
Yes.
designer, project
Yes.
manager. You got all this stuff going." I was like, "Not too much,
Not too
ChatGPT.
much. Tone it down.
You doing too much. I didn't ask you to roast me like that, but I really I love that, and because I'm like, oh, she's creative too. She does yoga and
Mhm.
I rollerblade. I
Oh, me too.
love to rollerblade. So I
Yes.
rollerblade early in the morning, and I like doing it early in the morning now because it's the world for me is quiet.
Yes. Yes.
And I get to read. I get so much done at 4:30 in the morning. My friends are
Yep.
like, "Can you not text me at 4:30 in the morning?" I be like, "I have to tell it to you because I'm gonna forget. If
I'm
I
gonna
don't
forget.
text, if I don't text it to you, I'm gonna forget. So I'm
Hmm.
sorry if it's at 4:45, but you ain't gotta respond back until 8. But I'm
Right,
gonna
right.
forget. But I just need you to know I got this on my mind. I gotta tell it. So yeah.
Tell
So
you.
I
Yes.
I appreciate it. So now we're gonna talk about fun. So you say you're a circus performer.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes,
I need
yes.
you to unpack that. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so I do all kinds of circus arts. I do fire, I do aerial. I love to just be in those environments. There's quite a few places where I take classes from. I saw my friend joined, her name on here is Dancing Girl Nicole. Nicole also teaches, some circus classes. And so getting to
Nice.
learn from my friends is amazing. Getting to be out and to perform is truly wonderful. And it's just something that brings me so much joy. I never intended to get into circus arts because like I just ADHD, right? Like I ended up hyper focusing on this for a really long time, went down this
Yeah.
rabbit hole, and then I just never came out of it, and it's one of my most like regulating activities as well.
I
So
love that.
yes,
That is cool.
yes,
I'm
yes,
like, wait, a circus performer? What?
yeah, right.
Wow. Okay, so you have an upcoming event. You'll be presenting your research at the Family Cafe in Orlando on June 13th. What can people expect from your presentation?
Yeah, so at this presentation, I'm just going to be talking a lot about the dramatic arts and speech therapy, how we combine them, a little bit about like what you and I were talking about before, the importance of it, the self-confidence, the level, and really kind of break the ground for a lot of these professionals and parents. A lot of people are very used to seeing the performing arts as just like a hobby or just something that people brush off. It's not as well respected as something like sports, but the reality is that they are so extremely helpful for us, and they're just so impactful. So I'm so excited to talk to everyone about all of those fun aspects.
I love that. And so why is this important for spaces like that to exist in the autism community?
Yeah, autism community, we need each other. We need families to be together. We need the understanding, the patience. We need the new research. We want to know what's best out there. We want to know how we can help our children and our families succeed. And so these spaces give us the platforms to do so. And that's just something that is so invaluable for us.
I love that. I love that. Thank you.
Yes.
So now we're going to get into the fun rapid fire questions. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. So I know you used to bring your karaoke machine to second grade class.
Yes.
So if you brought your karaoke machine to Nene's Damn Podcast studio,
Yes.
what song are we going to sing?
Oh, that's a tough one. Honestly, I'd probably pick Hot to Go by Chaperone. I'm a big Chaperone fan, and I just
Okay.
love the whole cheerleader vibe. So that would probably be my pick today.
Okay. Okay. I'm here for
Yes.
it. All right. Your favorite way to decompress after a long day?
Yeah, honestly, like you said before, I like to read books. I like to take a bath. I like to read a book in the bathtub. That's really nice. I love to hang out with my wife and kids. Sometimes when the kids get to be too much, though, it's just me and the wife, and we get to chill out, and that's probably my favorite.
I love it. One word that describes your parenting style.
I'll say fun, but my kids will tell you another word. But we'll leave it at fun for now.
Okay. We'll take it. Your go-to comfort show or movie.
Recently it has been Stranger Things. We all love to watch Stranger Things, so we all watch it together.
Okay. I
Yeah.
like that. Okay. If speech therapy had a theme song, what would it be?
I really thought hard about it, and I think it would be Send It On, and it's a Disney Channel song, but it's just about like one reaction sends a chain reaction, essentially like one spark can help light up so many lives for other people, and I think that truly describes speech therapy.
I love that. Okay. Biggest joy about working with the autistic community.
I would say getting to witness the connection and the communication pieces that come as a result. And just knowing that, someone is less lonely because someone else took the opportunity to communicate and connect with them. And that's just so important.
I love that. I love that. So, Miss Brianna, tell the people how they could find you and follow you.
Yeah, definitely. You can find us at thedramaticslp.com. So thedramaticslp.com. You can find us on this Instagram here as well. We also have a Facebook page, or you can DM us and reach out to us that way.
Okay. And listen, if you guys are in the Orlando area, make sure y'all pull up to the Family Cafe on June
Yes.
13th and support her presentation. It's for everybody. And any last words?
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for being on the show. I'm glad you came on. It was very informative. And I'm not in Orlando. I don't know. I might catch the Bright Line to Orlando.
Yes.
I mean,
Let me
I I,
know.
I think I might be free that day. I gotta check, but
Yeah.
it sounds like a dope event. So if I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna
Let
let
me
you
know.
know.
Let me
I'm,
know.
I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure. Thank you, Miss Brianna, for sharing
Yeah.
your story and your work. Truly impactful for everyone listening in this conversation. Taught you anything, inspired you, opened your perspective. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it on this episode. And make sure y'all follow Brianna and the Dramatic SLP to learn more about speech therapy, neurodivergence, and how we can better support the autistic community. And ladies and gentlemen, it's been real. It's been great. Thank you, Miss Brianna.
Thank you.
Everybody be blessed, be great. Pull up if you're in Orlando June
Yes.
13th. You
Yes.
already know it. Happy Autism Awareness Month. And next month is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you and have a good night.
Yes, you too. I'll see you later.
All right, y'all. Bye. Take care. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all follow, like, and subscribe on YouTube. Follow and like on what is this on Instagram. I am on Spotify, but it's only like 2 episodes on Spotify. But don't judge. We on YouTube though. We on
Killing it.
YouTube. So thank y'all, everybody. Thank you, Miss Brianna. Be blessed. See y'all later. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye.